And this is your lineup: Ukraine, Serbia, Estonia, Croatia, Estonia, and a second Serbian pair also in this one.
So we will do a lane introduction. Just a note on that Pacific row, Maurice from World Rowing has said he's going to do it after the Olympic qualification regatta.
Wow.
So the Ukrainians, Paul Yurchenko in the stroke seat, and behind him Yuri Ivanov with the cap on. In lane 2, Alexander Bejic and Alexander Filipovic. Filipovic with the cap on. Well, there in lane 3, the Spanish silver medalists, Alexis Garcia Puloja and Rodrigo Conde Romero. Here are the stars of the show, the Sinkovic brothers, only 4th in the world last year. They got beat by the Spanish and, of course, the French double, who I guess will be watching this. 2 men out of the Estonian quad, Mikhail Kushtin and Johan Pulak, coached by the same man, Vecchio Sinasalo, that coached the quad. And the second Serbian double, Viktor Pivac on the left of your picture. Dusan Slavnic in the stroke seat. Can't see how they're going to get up to the speed of Serbia 1, Bejic and Filipovic. So I think in terms of the heats, Greg, you know, the Sinkovic's were on fire, and to me it's all about technique, really. I mean, they didn't get that technique right in the Worlds last year.
Well, it was so interesting, wasn't it? And a surprise at the World Championships last year to see the Sinkovic brothers finish in 4th place off the podium. They've got 49 medals at international regattas. We thought the 50th was going to come there at the World Championships. Got to think it's going to come today. And they'll be very much hoping it's gold in front of this home crowd.
Yeah. And it's interesting with the Ukrainian team there, because we did learn last night that the Sinkovic's have financially helped the Ukraine team to train here in Zagreb. Story. And absolutely hats off to the Sinkovic brothers. They've given part of their training allotment to the Ukrainian team to enable them to come from Banyoles to train here in Zagreb. And Nick Chiprina, the Ukrainian coach, was so full of gratitude to the Sinkovic's. They're big men in every sense of the word, these guys, Greg.
They are big men, and yeah, brilliant supporting the Ukrainian team. The Ukrainian double now over there on lane 1. The Sinkovic brothers probably being slightly led by the Spanish just in the early strokes, but that's not what counts.
No, it's interesting. The Sinkovic's were a couple of seconds quicker in the heats than the Spanish, but you know, the Spanish will have known that, and I think, you know, it's fair enough for their coach, Paul Jean Sanjuaha, to say to them, you know, let's just make sure we've got good connection with the Sinkovic's in the first quarter. They're not going to be afraid of the Sinkovic's at all, the Spanish double, are they?
Well, they'll be in their boat. They can't really afford to think about the Sinkovic brothers and this being their home water. They're just going out there. Lovely race here, coming out bow ball to bow ball on that surge through the first 250. You can see the stroke rates yourselves. The Sinkovic is slightly lower, but not a huge surprise there.
So I was talking to Niels van Zwegen, the Belgian lightweight athlete, about the Sinkovic brothers, and he kind of said they had too much power in the Worlds last year. The kind of boat was sort of bouncing a bit. And interesting talking to Marko Banovic, who's commentating here for Croatian TV, who's worked a bit with the Sinkovic's, you know, and he talks about that flatness around the front end, getting the lock on and the boat travelling on flat from the front. So it'd be good for you and me to look at them and just see if they've got that technical fluidity around the front turn again.
So I think the interesting thing about the Sinkovic brothers is how upright they look on the catch, but they don't necessarily close that angle between their bodies and their thighs. I think we'll see more angle close in the Spanish boat, but they just sit really upright and strong, so that when they're pressing the legs, it's like they're on the leg press machine in a strong, strong position. Yeah,
Markovic was talking about Valent, the stroke man on the left, being more upright with his back than Martin there. Can you see that in the picture?
Yeah, I think perhaps you can see a little bit more movement, as you say, from Martin in the bow seat. You know, Valent's had his problems with his back injuries. Yeah. They wear those Red Bull caps. Red Bull have supported them with their medical support as well, going to that centre that they use. but I could see how they could overpower it by almost kind of kicking at it. So if they're going to sit strong and upright like that, they need to make sure those blades are covered before they use their legs, otherwise they could go too early. But they're demonstrating how to scull this way pretty well, I think.
And of course, it is the mark of an athlete to come back from disappointment. You know, they say it's never easy to win like the Sinkovics win, but, you know, they came fourth last year. They were very gracious about it, but they knew it wasn't good enough. They know they want to win gold. They've got to beat the French in the Paris Olympics on their home course. The standard has to be so much higher than they set last year. And the earliest indications are that they've kind of done the job in the first 1,000. Let's see if they can move away in the third quarter.
Yeah, can't judge it too much until the whole 2,000 metres is done. But I guess if you're going to lose in an Olympiad, then losing at the first World Championships is probably a good place to do it, to have that correction. And then they've been able to work on it through this winter. And let's see how they finish this race, how they can take on this second 1,000. And then, of course, we'll see them racing again later in the year.
Bejic and Filipovic, well, I guess they were unlucky to be in the C final. They were just out of it in the semi-final last year. They're quite close up for third place, overlapping the Spanish silver medalists. If they can hold on to a bronze medal position, that will be great for the Serbians.
Yeah, good call, Martin, because we're obviously looking in on the Croatians, getting lots of pitch to them. But I think that push from that Serbian double over there in lane 2, they're doing a pretty good job, I think, to stay with the Spanish and could even move on them.
Yeah, shout out to your old sparring partner, Nikola Stojic, the Serbian who coaches, it seems, every crew coming from Serbia. He's working with that Serbian double over there on the far side. Very nice down at the front end. Makovic has got particularly nice front end, doesn't he? Stojic, maybe could get a little closer with 750 metres to go. The Sinkovics are moving out, that move that I was sort of questioning if they could make in the third quarter.
Yeah, well, look, here we are with this Serbian double, and as you say, they're sculling well. Alex Betet sitting there in the bow seat. He's a strong, fast man. Did that 6:43 in the single back in 2020.
Yeah, Serbian record.
Serbian record, pretty good record all round, really. Started rowing back in 2008. He's had a tough winter, challenging on the ergo, he says, but he enjoys playing games, he enjoys being out there racing, and he's right in the race now for this big last 500. And I can see him coming back on the Spanish here.
They are moving back on the Spanish. Estonia in fourth place, Ukraine in fifth, Serbia 2 back in sixth place. But this is all about the Sinkovics in the last 500. Look at yourself, look how flat they are on the drive. There's the reverse angle shot.
That's the other Serbian double, isn't it? But I think the shot really, we're able to see the cyclists
following
all
the
going along
Sinkovic
here on this lake. And I mean, they're giving the crowd exactly what they want, sculling just as we've always remembered them. Most of the time right up there, good clear water ahead of the Spanish and the rest of the field. The Serbians really trying to come back at that Spanish double. They're both up in the rate, 39, 41 strokes a minute, you can see it. Only 250 to go now. And you can see the gap between them, 2 meters between the Spanish and the Serbians. But Croatia well clear here.
It's just what the crowd wanted. It's just what Niki Bralic, the Croatian coach, wanted. It's just what Valentin Martin Sinkovic wanted. A win on their home course, but not just a win, a good win, a Clearwater win over the world silver medalists, the Spanish.
Well, the camera's going in on the Sinkovic brothers. I think the Spanish are coming back at them, if anything, but it's far too big a gap. The Sinkovic done a great job for the whole of this 2,000-metre race coming down to the line.
Martin and Valentin Sinkovic come up to the line. Croatia take the win in double sculls. Martin's hands go up. The Spanish do take the silver like they did in the World Championships. Serbians, much better result from them than the World Championships. They will take the bronze medal. Estonia, good scull from them in fourth place. The Ukrainians, well, they don't manage to hold the fifth place out. It is the second Serbian double, Pivac and Slavnic. Well, Martin's hands went up. Yeah, they love this with their home crowd, don't they? They are such ambassadors for the sport, Greg.
They really are. They're lovely men, and they're giving the crowd what they want. They will entertain. I'm sure they'll be around meeting people and giving everyone what they want here, because they've got a lovely following here in Zagreb. It's wonderful to be in this city. And you can see everyone is on their feet, clapping, the safety people in the launches around. Everyone in the grandstand, just wonderful to see them competing here on home water and winning like that.
What do you think the French are going to think? Boucheron and Androdias watching that result, hey?
I think it won't change what they're doing. I mean,
No,
they're not going to be complacent, are they? It's like you say, the Paris Olympics coming up, and that French double did so well last year. But they've got to imagine that the Sinkovic has perhaps underperformed last year, but they've had that correction. Spanish double, I mean, they'll know they've got work to do. And yeah, good result, I think, for the Serbian double. Spanish did move quickly away from them in the last 250.
Yeah. We've got a replay of the race.
It was nice to see those sort of technical pictures and have that conversation about the Croatian double.
Yeah, and
there's so many views on how to scull, there's so many views on how to row, which is why you see these small differences. But with the Sinkovic brothers, it's quite a marked kind of difference, just how upright they look.
And also trying to get back to what they did in 2014, where, you know, they did that sub-6 on the Bosban. For 2,000 metres, not as fast today, obviously, not the conditions that it was back in the Bosban, but they want to get that flow back, and that's what they're searching for. They had the power last year, and they didn't have the technique, and now it looks like they've synchronised those two qualities of rowing together, the power and the technique, the looseness, and well, you know, that's a pretty quick time, only 16 seconds off the world's best. Which brothers will get, wow, echoing across the waters of the Yarran Lake, the hooters going in the background. Jean-Christophe Hollande, president of World Rowing, will present the gold medal to Martin Sinkovic. And also to Valentin Sinkovic. And if you didn't hear us in commentary, these two guys made an incredibly generous donation to the Ukrainian rowing team to help them train on the waters of Yarran Lake for 3 or 4 weeks before this regatta. Big men in every sense of the word. And they are going to remember this day on their home lake.
Let's hear it for our medalists.
Yeah. Nice waves. To the crowd. We'll see them again in the Europeans in 3 weeks' time. Well, they will renew their rivalry with the Spanish and Serbian doubles.
By legends of our sport, such as Ekaterina